welcome back to Voices of the Void. Oh, it's gonna get down to business today. We're getting down to business. Got lots to do. And lots to figure out. Let's see. Wait a second. India, Lima, Foxtrot. Seems we just came from Lima. Foxtrot is over there. Yeah, I'm gonna head back to base just to see if I remember what I've done. And for a quick pit stop so I can do this. And right.
I work at a gas station in rural Pennsylvania. It's a boring job, but it's pretty easy and it pays alright. A few weeks ago, this new guy started. I'll call him Jeremy. Jeremy is weird. He's about 25 or 26 and he hardly speaks. But he's got the creepiest laugh I've ever heard. My boss and I have both noticed this, but it's never been a problem, so there's not much we can do about
Lima
it.
and Foxtrot. Okay.
Customers have never complained.
Fuel. Don't have a fuel can on me. Swear I did. So I just realized there's so many rocks. I don't feel like they were there before. Yellow and green. Yep. What a beautiful morning. Oh. I know I just heard something. Ooh. Should probably not point that at myself. Oh! Wait. I just realized I wasn't at the spot that I saved at last time. Now I remember. Also, I'm gonna need to get myself healed up. Ooh. I'm not doing too hot. Oh yeah, I'm not. Oh yeah, I gotta get myself healed up. Oh. Oh. Uh. Okay. Well, I've sealed up my open wounds, at least. Ooh-wee. I remember what I was supposed to do.
I thought Jeremy should have told her she already got her smokes, but it's not against the rules to sell somebody the same thing twice.
Yeah, I
That's when
remember
Ron
now.
came in again. He bought another tank of gas for his motorcycle again. I later checked the outdoor camera because I thought maybe he had another car he wanted to fill up. And got the same pack of beef jerky. He paid with his credit card again. No big deal. I figured this was just a weird coincidence. Mrs. Templeton is forgetful when...
No. No, you don't, mannequin man. Okay, then, that was insanely dangerous. Oof. Gotta remind myself to not shoot a random weapon I find in, I just wanted to test fire it. I didn't think it would shoot a goddamn grenade. Well, at least I need to remember to, if I'm going to test shoot a weapon, to shoot it outside, not inside. Boop. Yep. Swear I saw something. Right after this, it's Foxtrot, and then I just head back to base. Oops. I'll be looking at fuel. Alright, alright. We're looking alright. Rattle, 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 rattle. Rattle, rattle. Rattle, rattle. Whoop-de-doo! Perfectly landed. Right, I also remember I need to buy shovel. God damn my fingers. Alright, now green. The hell is the sun? There it is. Yep, and that's that done. Might need to have a look at the transformers before I head back though. But this shouldn't take long. So wait. Why was it save error? No. I don't think I've seen that while on the ATV. Whoa. Anywho, back to what I was going to do before. Whoop-de-doo. Before I was so rudely interrupted by that drop. I'm gonna go up here to Transformer 1 first. And yeah, check it out. Make sure it's in quality condition. While I'm up here, I could take a visit over to the aliens, see how they're doing. Let's check. Set. Does that sound come from my ATV? I swear I'm hearing something. Right. Of course. Just resets as I get here. There we go. Yep. Yep. Please tell me there's something of fuel here. I may have to do a full pit stop back at the base when I head back. Voice crack. When I head back in that direction. I see the spaceship again. Howdy, neighborinos. Still seems to have the door closed. Yeah, man. I thought I could pull it open. Guess not. I'll be on my way. Okay. This time I'm actually gonna go ahead and take this. Not enough space. I have my cracker packs. And a piece and my stew. What if I... No, yeah, what if I go ahead and put these items... Yeah, put them in there and... Okay. Pink. Oh no. Can I wedge you in here? Oh, I just realized what I could do. I forgot I could attach the hook to 2 different items. I'm definitely gonna need some fuel. Whoop-de-doo. I gotta leave fast.
Never really talk about,
Honestly,
but
looks
I
like a
can't say for
weird
sure if that's true.
lunchbox.
What I can say is true is that after an insurance investigation, the fire was ruled an arson. The entire house was soaked in oil and torched with a Molotov cocktail. The entire family was sleeping when it happened. None of them survived. They never caught the guy who did it. Rumor has it that when they tried to contact the estranged son, no one could find him. Anyway, my boss called and told me this, and I freaked out. Then he asked me to come to the gas station. What are you, crazy? I said. But he assured me that the cops were there with him.
Okay,
Then he dropped a
Kayla
bomb.
is fine.
The FBI were also in town, and they were going to talk to me one way or another, so I might as well come in. It was about 7:15, and I wanted to go back to bed, but I figured I wouldn't be able to sleep much more anyway, so I went down. 4 men in suits greeted me and told me to have a seat. We went over everything 2 or 3 times until they got all the details down. I told them about Jeremy, the security tape, last night at work, everything. Finally, after I finished, one of the agents said, "Christ, we've got another one on our hands." And then they made me sign a bunch of papers saying I wouldn't tell anyone about what happened, so I can't say much more. I'm probably breaking the law just by posting this. So now I'm home. I'm not sure what to do with myself. That agent's words when I told him the story are going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Anyway, I've got to go. I have some errands to run today, and then I have to go into work to pick up some tapes. My boss and I think this new guy, Jeremy, is a complete creep. He is stealing motor oil, and I have to watch the security footage to see if I can catch him doing it. I have better things to do, but my boss is paying me overtime under the table, and I'm trying to save up for a vacation, so I could really use the money. It should be pretty simple. The oil always goes missing right after his shifts. I figure I'll just
The
watch the
fuck
tapes,
you
catch
mean,
him in the act,
Saber? No.
and that'll be that.
Ah. Super scary horror. God. Super scary horror maze. It's kind of bad that this is the one because my hand
I had a friend named Dennis.
is very
Not too far from me in a tall orange house.
shaky. Okay. Yep. Ooh.
He broke the silence. Did you want to stay the night tonight? No. That was the first thing that jumped into my mind, but I didn't say it. Whenever I stayed overnight, I always had trouble sleeping. I didn't like being here for too long, even if he was my best friend.
I need to check the cams.
Please, he asked. His eyes had fear hidden in them, and I noticed it. I don't know. I think I had things to do tomorrow, I lied. Please.
Wait, India?
Fear was still there.
Oh, yeah, I already did it.
I need someone else to be in my room with me. There's something I need you to help me with. What is it? He seemed to be hesitant to tell me. A slight frown appeared on his face. I'll tell you if you promise you'll stay. Will you? I didn't want to.
Okay, that's some
Not one
funky
bit.
fog voice.
But I could tell by the way he was looking at me that he needed me. I nodded my head.
Oh, it's because of the
He didn't
lighting
smile
I see.
afterward. The frown and fear still stayed plastered on his pale face. He set up a small area on
Well,
the
I
floor
don't
for
really
me to
see
sleep.
anything up here.
He peeked outside to see if his parents were out of earshot, and they were. After that, he closed the door and looked at me. A hand, he said. There's a hand that comes out of the wall at night. It pulls off my blankets and tries to grab my legs. I don't know what time it comes, but it always does. For about a week now. I need you here to see for yourself. I want to make sure I'm not just dreaming or something. I was freaked out, but I understood why he wanted me there. I didn't say anything. I only nodded my head. Just stay up with me and wait, he said. So he got into his bed, and I got onto the floor, and we both lay there, waiting. I kept my eyes fixed on the wall above his nightlight, and I was sure he was doing the same thing. The eyes seemed to be watching me furiously now. I wasn't welcome. I was scolding myself in my mind for staying.
Ow.
After about 2 hours, and it felt like many more.
I'm sorry.
Something dark started creeping out of the wall. It was a long, rotten arm with long fingers that had black nails.
Hello? Could you stop throwing things at me? Oh, shh! Oh. I think I should not have taken that thing. How was he able to just walk on in? Could you stop throwing things? No, 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 no. What the hell did it do? What the fuck? What the hell happened to the nest? There you are. Motherfucker came here, unlocked my door, fucked my shit up, fucked me up, and then fucked off.
The new...
What the fuck? Okay, that was a lot of swear words in a short amount of time. I do apologize for that.
At the foot of the bed
Still,
was a large wardrobe with a
fuck?
chair in front of it. On the other side of that was an entertainment center, and past that, the sliding glass door that led to our balcony. We went to sleep one night, and I was awoken sometime around 3 in the morning by a sliding sound.
All this over a damn
Having been
lunchbox.
plagued by nightmares as a child, I was startled pretty easily and sat upright. The sliding glass door was open, and beyond it I could see the blackness of the night sky and the blackness of the sea, interrupted only by occasional whitecaps. My husband checked the door to my mother's half of the suite, and it was still closed and latched. I had moved to sit on the chair at the foot of the bed, shaking. I was shaking because
What the
from
hell is
sandy
watching my
concrete
base?
outside the glass door, small, dark, wet footprints made their way into our hotel room, soaking into the carpet, and stopping at the foot of our bed. At this point, my husband quietly went over and closed the sliding glass door, shutting out the sound of the ocean inside, and turned back towards me, exasperatedly claiming that he didn't know what to do. It was probably just sea spray, and he stopped complaining abruptly. Not a common behavior for him, and just sort of froze in place. I remember intensely the feeling of everything clicking together, and the realization as I followed his gaze and realized that the sound of the ocean now sealed behind the door. I could hear the quiet dripping of something right by my ear. "She's above me, isn't she?" I whispered. Now, here's where it gets either stranger or less strange, depending on how you wish to interpret things. As soon as I spoke, I began to look up, only to be shaken awake by my husband, who was lying in bed behind me. It was the same time it had been in my dream. The was shivering violently because whatever I had seen above me was so terrifying that I can't adequately articulate how it felt. Pure, primal, unfiltered fear, with no conscious thought. I shakily asked why he woke me up, realizing that he had been asking, "Are you okay?" He told me that I was twitching violently, crying and making strange little whimpering and wheezing noises. I sat up in bed and looked around to reassure myself. We had left the sliding glass door open the night before, and sure enough, the ocean and sky beyond were dark. But this time we were back on the 4th floor, which is where we were supposed to be. There were no footprints, but everything was in exactly the same place it had been in the nightmare. Even the furniture whose position I hadn't bothered to memorize, and bags that we'd tossed on the sofa the evening before. It was like the nightmare happened in real time. And then, when I was woken up, whatever had come out of the ocean to stay with us retreated. I've lived with a lifetime of nightmares. None have ever adhered so closely to the laws of the waking world with so few changes, nor affected me so violently. I can remember every detail of that night to this day, and I wonder what I saw before my husband woke me. The footprints looked like a child's bare feet, and in the dream, I knew it was a she, before I ever looked up. It was the early evening, and I walked home from work as a kindergarten teacher as I usually did. I cut through the large cemetery where most of my family was buried, and I decided to go pay my respects, as I did from time to time. An odd fog began to roll in as the sun set, but I took no heed of it. I instead looked for the specific oak tree where my family plot was. The fog was growing thicker, so I decided to head home and come by tomorrow. I began running into a problem. I didn't know where I was in the fog. Graves would only appear in front of me just short of me running into them. I became startled as a statue of an angel appeared in front of me. The angel stared upwards with its arms raised as if to take a soul to heaven. I didn't recognize the graves, so I looked to see whose it was.
Goddamn invisible thing. Making my base all bloody. Oh, for a second I thought there was a leak.
Staring down at the glare. I was startled, but then just brushed it off as a lapse in memory. I continued through the cemetery, growing increasingly worried and out of touch with time. A large shadow appeared in front of me, and I approached it slowly. It was a tree, but not the one I saw earlier. Its branches began shaking, as if something were moving within the leaves. I couldn't make anything out, and I assumed it was a squirrel.
Yeah, that's
or cat.
definitely live footage of the
Then,
base.
Out of the quiet fog, I once more heard the sound of a child saying the Lord's Prayer. I called out, but there was no response. I waited for a moment. Then, the voices of more children began saying the Lord's Prayer. I screamed for someone to help, but I only heard the children as I began to see shapes move in the fog. It felt as 1,000 eyes were upon me as more and more children joined me.
I'm guessing it came to reclaim
All at once,
the lunchbox, because I
Voices
don't
stopped.
think...
the fog felt hollow and empty. The brief
Yeah, I
silence
think it's
was
gone.
shattered by a deep, demonic voice repeating the verse in a sinister and mocking tone. I ran like I had never ran before. The air quickly grew bitter and cold. But a moment,
I have to remember where I put it. course. It too had been moved around by all that. I don't think I need to worry about getting to bed, since I'm pretty sure Krampus is gone, but if Krampus is still around, I have this. Don't remember you being there. I need to get something to be able to pick it up.
As one of my former students placed a flower at his teacher's grave. Am I in hell? Entry 1. I don't know if this is going to get through to anyone. If it does, it's probably because they wanted it to. In which case, I'm really sorry. Maybe they just don't even care. Maybe it doesn't matter because there's nothing we can do. If you're anything like me,
Come on, Kayla.
you've seen some weird new stuff around town. And more importantly, that in you've remembered.
Come on. Out you go. Please be home back before midnight.
Nothing. I've considered that I might just be crazy. But even crazy people can get some sort of reaction. Someone will at least try to humor them, calm them down. I've tried doctors, police, professors. They all just stare off into space when I start to describe this stuff. Like something is actively blocking the exchange of information. My biggest fear isn't even that I'm all alone. My biggest fear is that I might still only perceive bits and pieces of something bigger. Or worse, that my capacity to perceive all this is shrinking. I can write it down, I can record every last detail, but it's not going to matter if I become like everyone else. I could wake up tomorrow and look at my journal entries and only see a pile of mysterious cake recipes. Who the hell knows?
Okay, so the
First thing I ever saw was one of the pickup windows. It was just like any other you might see at a fast food place. But it was right on the side of my own house. Nothing amiss indoors, but outside, half the block was lined up on my front lawn, reading over a glowing menu full of scribbly-looking gibberish and receiving their meals,
I think it's just
if you want to call them that,
in my
almost
blind
instantaneously.
Yeah,
They all acted like it was their usual mundane lunch stop, even while the mail lady sucked some rancid-looking glop out of a plastic pouch, congealed blood dripping down her chin. She told me it was the best she'd ever had. All my questions were met with those blank stares and stupid smiles. I couldn't tell who or what was actually handing out the food, or where it was coming from. I could only see blackness. At least, that's how I remember it. Maybe I saw something else, but it's gone now. God. And it was only the beginning. All the restaurants in town, the real ones anyway, are typically deserted. Employees still show up to some of them, but they don't even realize that no customers are stopping in. Some of them even host new windows,
Kayla's gonna be
parasitically
returning soon.
siphoning off all their business. The things seem to multiply constantly. I've seen them indoors, outdoors, on houses, on trucks, even one on a tree. A window to nowhere on the trunk of a tree, dispensing deep-fried slop to an ignorant gaggle of hikers. Near as I can tell, all the products are meat, or some vague semblance thereof. I can't always tell what kind of animal, or even what kind of body part it used to be. I've seen things that could have been dredged from some black, godless deep-sea trench. Gelatinous slabs of flesh in blindingly unnatural colors. Fried bugs just slightly larger than any I thought existed. It isn't just the windows either. I've started seeing this stuff right on supermarket shelves. Foreign-looking packages with that same gibberish language on it. Occasional bouts of quasi-English like number a million taste or it can dream a great flavor. It all has the same stupid logo on it too. Sometimes burnt right into the cuts of meat. A bug-eyed cartoon hamburger and a little chef's hat. Sometimes it's winking, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it only is after I've looked away. There's even people sucking down that stuff on live television. The talking heads come back from commercial licking blood and grease off their hands. The weather lady shows up looking like an extra from a slasher movie. Red stains increasingly thick on a blouse.
Damn it.
I don't think she's changed in weeks. Nobody else cares. Nobody thinks anything is odd or new or different. Nobody but me. My appetite for meat is thoroughly dead, to say the least.
Hey, Kayla.
I don't think I could ever trust it again.
Wait, what? Come on. Who's my baby girl? It's you.
The funnier they talk. If you know something's up but you can't see what I'm seeing, I advise you to stick to cereal. I haven't found anything fishy about any of the cereal yet. I can't begin to postulate what's behind it all. Aliens, terrorists, Illuminati reptiloids? I could believe near anything at this point. Entry 2. The ads are everywhere. Flyers, neon signs, billboards. All of them written in some weird foreign language I can't find any match for. Plastered with goofy artwork of bug-eyed hot dogs and steaks, and less identifiable things. People stop and stare at them compulsively, pupils dilating while their clouded mind registers God only knows. A lot of people say the same exact thing, in the same exact tone and rhythm, every single time. That sounds good enough to eat. I hear it 100 times a day, when I risk going out anyway. Then they'll head straight to one of the impossible windows, the infected supermarkets, the rapidly multiplying vending machines, or one of the green doors. Those awful green doors. I don't know if they're actually new, or I'm just newly capable of seeing them. The first one I noticed had grown, for lack of a better word, on the back wall of our local ShopRite. An ugly, faded seafoam affair, smeared windows shaped like their burger logo, chrome handle flecked with rust. Same as all the others I've seen since. People were coming and going at a steady pace, but even when I staked it out for a good 6 hours, I never saw the same patron coming back out again. I guess that should have been a big warning sign, but I couldn't take it. I had to know. It didn't lead into the store, of course. I knew it wouldn't. As soon as I said...
Yep, the usual.
looked chunky, soft and plastic, like they were designed for children, though I can't imagine any child with such depressing taste. Booths were lined with putrid, off-green cushions. Tables were a hideous yellow tan with chipped chrome trimmings. The floors were pale blue tile, like a public restroom, many pieces missing or disheveled. The walls were more of that tacky chrome, interrupted by fake wood paneling, giving way to glass windows from about waist height to the ceiling. Yes, windows, not visible from the outside. I had stepped through a door in the middle of one plain, solid brick wall. From inside, it was glass all around. They were so thick with grime that I could scarcely see through them, but I could tell it wasn't the correct view from behind the shop right.
Let's see, Golf
It looked
Delta
more like some
Romeo.
murky storybook vista. Simple, blocky houses on rolling green hills. Despite the steady stream of people coming in through the door, I couldn't see a single
Golf?
sign of movement or life out there. I began to wonder if I might look suspicious, just standing around and gawking while everyone else was heading straight for the
And
food.
Romeo.
I thought I might as well make some effort to blend
Romeo,
in.
where art thou,
Mistake number one.
Romeo?
Most of the offerings were typical of the stuff coming out of those takeout windows or invading the grocery shelves. A heap of raw, red steak sat on a bed of black, clotted blood. Oversized, pasty white drumsticks dribbled cold, yellow juices. A long trough of chunky, pinkish slop jiggled like pudding as people scooped it onto their trays, or straight into their grease-caked faces. I think I pulled my shirt up over my nose around this point. I thought I recognized a lot of exotic fare. Frog's legs, chicken feet, beef tripe, but I couldn't be quite certain. I wasn't sure if chickens had that many toes, or any frogs I knew of grew exactly that large. There was a
Alright.
tray of what I thought were fat, segmented seafood.
As you calibrate.
There was something like clear yellow spaghetti in a pasty brown sauce. At least, that's what I'm going to keep telling myself it was. There were fish fins and goat eyes, and even bones. Just steaming hot, perfectly bare white bones. I could barely take the sight of anyone eating. Mrs. Faber, a grim and crotchety old bag from down the street, was digging like an excited child through a big heap of what looked like horse teeth, sucking off whatever scraps of gum tissue she could find. I felt my stomach shudder. We made eye contact, and for a moment I almost thought I saw a look of horrified clarity, like the fog was almost lifted from her mind, and she was just about to ask me what in God's name she was doing. Instead, her eyes glazed over, and she smiled that chillingly idiotic smile. Just like Mama used to make, she said, in a hokey, sing-songy tone she'd have never been caught dead using,
Let's see,
popping
okay.
another gnarled, yellowed molar into her mouth and
Orb
sucking
is over
noisily.
There.
I could taste my own bile by the time I backed away from that godless orgy of culinary depravity. That's
I
when I
think it's
saw
only
it.
one orb
The thing
nearby.
I've come to think of as an
Or
egghead.
not?
It was wobbling around the
Where the
bars,
hell did it go?
arms flailing
It's
blindly.
all over here.
A chalk-white, naked, sexless
ago.
human figure dominated by a featureless beach ball of a head. A stick figure made flesh.
Whoa.
The alien invasion theory was already sounding better and better. The thing was working its way down one aisle at a time, and didn't look at first like it had any particular goal in mind. It
Oh,
occasionally clutched at someone's hair or clothing, almost as though desperate for attention, or even in need of help, but nobody so much as blinked in its direction. I assumed I could get away with ignoring it like everyone else, until it finally hobbled its way down
I'm
the
gonna
opposite
let
aisle and crossed my
that
direct line of
finish.
sight. It froze there. The blank, smooth egg face turned directly towards me. I don't remember the sprint home, but I do remember it was the dead of night when I exploded out of that ugly, greasy green door, couldn't have been later than
See, okay, you guys don't have
more than
any
40
problem.
minutes from my perspective. I don't know if anything followed me, but I barricaded myself in my bedroom that night, just to be safe. The doors and windows are everywhere. If you can read this, only go out when you must, and don't go anywhere new. It might be newer than you think.
Okay.
Entry 3. They used to be people. The eggheads. I've seen it a lot in the week since the buffet. Not everybody shows the signs, but some people, the ones who get hooked the hardest on that sick foreign meat slop, only seem to gain weight from the neck up. Hair falls out. The first thing to disappear are the eyes. Then the mouth seals shut, and the whole head smooths over. They start to wander aimlessly, invisible to everyone else, forgotten by friends and loved ones. They do nothing but mumble, groping their arms around like they're hunting for their lost eyes. I killed one today. I'd spent my afternoon scrounging around town for normal things to eat, an increasingly challenging task. Avoiding the overtly weird stuff is only the half of it. I have to be careful for anything that boasts a new formula or improved flavor. Sometimes I just have to scan the package for the hamburger logo, or check the ingredients for some new gibberish like extracted bone jellies or natural life parts. Some of the untainted stuff is skipping the shelves and going straight into dumpsters, which I'd been digging through when the egghead got the chump on me, cornering me in a one-way alley between a Safeway and a Walgreens. Its head was bigger than most, an impossibly bloated globe that almost brushed the walls on both sides. I don't know how its feeble, chalky body could have held it up. It was barely more than a skeleton, thin-skinned, shrink-wrapped tightly to its bones. All that remained of its former identity was a black dress tie, swaying
That's
like a pendulum
live
from its
camera
pencil-thin
feed right
neck.
there.
Its incoherent mumbling sounded at once panicked, apologetic, and threatening as it staggered towards me, limbs
That
outstretched.
is a live
I
camera
had
feed
nothing
of
to
my
defend
office,
myself
folks.
with but a bag of stale bread and a warm can of Coke. I screamed at it, told it I didn't know what it wanted, that there wasn't anything I could do, but it just kept coming.
From an impossible
mumbling.
angle as well.
The moment my back hit the wall
So that
behind
would
me,
be...
I snapped. I grabbed the nearest garbage can lid and swung with all my strength, slamming it straight into that fat, bulbous face like a battle axe. It felt like striking a huge, taut basketball.
That's
The mumbling grew more frantic, more confused
bit
as the thing
to
stumbled
the
backward,
left of my...
gravity tugging at its awkward cranium, arms whirling cartoonishly as it fought to regain its center of balance. It was like some bent slapstick routine, like somebody struggling not to drop a wedding cake. I charged, screaming like a banshee as I struck again, and the thing finally toppled, slowly, like it was filled with air. As it hit the ground, that massive noggin exploded like a swollen tick,
I swear if
with a
the
wet
next
splash.
signal I
Pinkish
do
gore and hunks of rubbery white flesh
is an
gushed out
even
of the alley
closer
and into the
camera
street.
feed,
For one
I'm gonna
terrifying
lose
moment,
it.
I wondered how the scene would look to the rest of the world. If they'd just see some random, senseless act of murder against a completely normal, innocent human being. The people already nonchalantly stepping over the scattered piles of gore would have eased my mind, if it weren't for what happened next.
There is
One of those
signal.
piles started moving. Something about the size of a baby was squirming out from the pulverized sludge. A fat, slightly oblong shape with a lot of thin, wriggling appendages underneath. Still too thick with gore for me to make out any details. It was still between me and freedom, and I could only watch in a confused stupor as it unfurled a pair of big, transparent fins and abruptly took flight, buzzing off into the afternoon sky like a bloated, fleshy bumblebee. It thankfully never seemed to notice or care about me.
Yeah.
Funny how I settled on eggheads. I just thought they looked like eggs. I didn't know they literally were. A woman stopped dead in the crosswalk to smile and wave at the thing as it disappeared into the skyline. then continued on our way with only a momentary look of puzzlement. That "what am I doing?" followed by the "well, whatever" one I've grown so accustomed to over the past several weeks. When I got home, I started reading up on diseases, parasites, bugs, puzzle pieces dropping into place. There's a kind of wasp that lays its eggs in a live caterpillar. When the larvae hatch, they modify the host's entire metabolism to suit their needs. The caterpillar eats more, grows bigger, all to provide the developing wasps with more sustenance. This kind of thing is everywhere in nature. There are microbes that make mice suicidally attracted to cats. There are flies that grow inside the heads of ants who keep on moving even after their brains are eaten. It all makes so much sense. Maybe they're from space. Maybe they're from hell. Maybe they've always been here, toppling one species, one civilization after another. Who knows? They feed us so we can feed them. So they have a nice, warm body to keep them safe and nourished until they don't need us anymore. We're just a herd of cattle, oblivious to our position in life as we're fattened up and slaughtered by something that looms just above our understanding of the natural order. I don't know why I can see them, why I can see what they're feeding us. I'm like a cow who grasps exactly what goes on in the slaughterhouse, and I can't stop thinking about what a cow could ever hope to accomplish with that knowledge. Your guess is as good as mine. Entry 4. Today I followed one of the flying things. They eventually break out of the eggheads on their own, often taking 30 minutes or so to wipe the gore off their slimy bodies with their squiggly legs before they take to the air.
There we go.
They've never shown any aggression, or any acknowledgement that I exist. They just flutter away like they've got somewhere to be.
Do this
And apparently they do. It was in a Walmart parking lot that I witnessed another hatching. The egghead was stumbling between cars, clawing at its own face, reaching feebly at the passerby.
Or should I say golf? Funny Swedish. I am the funny Swedish man. I am the funny Swedish from a Swedish land. Oh yeah. Turned slightly German there. Up in the SCP-173, just that sound. Oh yeah, I am the funny Swedish. Hell no, hell no, hell to the no, to the no, to the hell. I'm almost out of fuel. Pedal to the metal. Screw this job, screw everything. I'm getting out of here, but while I still have my life. I swear I just heard footsteps. No thank you. Let me out. Okay, I can pause or I can save. How about you go fuck yourself? Oh. The hell? Tile? Oh wow. Um. There we go. Pencil holder. Why the flop disk might be useful. I'm just taking anything that might hold something useful. Well, I could go ahead and take one of these boxes. Crates, I mean. Yeah, ooh. Yes, sir. Oh. Also another shovel. That's nice. Ooh. Huh. I'm just raiding this place at this point. Ooh, books. Basics of radio astronomy. Why not? I have so many shelves back at base. Not really anything to fill them with, so now I do. Oopsie doopsie. I think I could do something like this. Yeah. Oh. Come on. Just up over the edge. Like that. Well, I've got a nice crate full of things. Oh, wait, wrong way around. I might... a very, very small might, but I might be able to make it back to base with the the tiny fuel I have left. Wait, did I? Supposed to did I save? No, I'm just gonna let that thing roll. And save here because seemingly this is far enough from whatever wants me to stay at base must reach. Like it's because I've noticed this is that these events and things can't completely turn off your save feature. They just have a large or small radius around themselves. Like Corrupted Curfer here. They have a small radius around them that essentially disables the save feature. Or not just the save feature, disables the pause menu altogether. Also, I forgot all about Corrupted Curfew. Maybe it was Corrupted Curfew that was causing the whole no save thing, and the achievement had nothing to do with it. I don't know, I felt pretty far away from, though it seems like I was far away from Corrupted Curfer when the achievement came and the no save thing had started. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. They may be related. Damn crow scaring me. What the hell happened out here? I'm just gonna go ahead and leave you there for the time being. Okay, and just make sure you're in park. Because I know I have fuel saved.
Spider-like legs, tip-tapping along with blinding speed. The further I advanced, the louder the wet, slimy flapping of the alien flock. More and more streams were converging into a single mass migration, their collective wings nearly drowning out the buzzing, grinding, and splattering of the factory. I still wasn't sure what I was looking for, but I knew I was getting closer.
Did I leave the garage open? Help? Huh? Right then. Good thing I saved right here.
For all I knew, I cautiously raised my shovel and took a step back, not wanting to arouse any aggression, and the diminutive imp jerked into motion. In an instant, it crammed the meat into one of its empty eye holes and took a flying leap off the catwalk, landing with a soft, wet splat on a lower level and scampering off into the darkness. From that point on,
Good thing my paranoia saves the day.
snatching scraps of food from the conveyor belt.
Hooey. Who knew paranoia was such a powerful tool? Anyway, I'm going to leave you here. That's the rest of all that. And I'm going to just check, can I? Object is too heavy. Gotcha. Oh, I'm going to head on out and go back to do my job. Alt star. Time to go back to golf. Need to have at least a little bit of fun in the board. Yep. Man, it's windy. It's fucking windy. Am I hungry? That's that checked off. Now it's Delta and Romeo. Delta is not too far away. Romeo is the only one that's slightly worrisome. Whoop-de-doo. Landed that baby. Oh, fuck yeah. Whoa, shit. Did not think I was gonna land that. Wait, yeah, I totally meant to do that. Totally meant to do that. Don't you dare question me. I see you looking at me. Don't you dare question me. Right then. Oh, wow, you're too tired. Get over yourself, Dr. Kell. That kind of rhymes. Get over yourself, Dr. Kell. Next time, I think, yeah, next time I'm going to focus on getting the things for Omega Cursor, so I can turn Kayla Omega. And then find a way to upgrade my radar, see if it can help me locate my original cursor. I can't find cursor anywhere. No, cursor, Mike. Can't find Mike anywhere. And I've looked everywhere for him. Can't find him anywhere. Almost like he just vanished. Like he never existed in the first place. Also, why am I missing points? I don't remember buying anything. Oh, damn. I gotta get to the transformer. And fast. Alright. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Don't know why Scooby-Doo suddenly appeared. And then disappeared. Gotta get up there quick. It's dying. It's dying, what? That's blood. Come on. Alright, it's this place. I just completely forgot about this place. You know, when I hid out from one of the Krampus attacks, I hid in here. All the way back. Anyway. At least I saved that transformer. I gotta go all the way to 2. Or get paranoid by the save node. Transformer 2 is essentially a straight line that way. So what? So I guess you guys tried to follow me, and then, or at least one of you tried to follow me and tripped. Weird. Oh, that's hilarious. Whoop-de-doo! Ow. I'm dead. Or not. And that's a dead deer. Oh dear. And that's a lot of blood. There are a lot of things that I don't want there to be a lot of. You get me? There is a lot of the stuff I don't want there to be a lot of. Guess somebody needs to shit badly. Oh, and I'm tired as hell. Surprised I haven't gotten a visit from the super scary sleep monster. Yep, there we go. 100%. I gotta get back to base and drink a lot of coffee. Pedal to the motherfucking metal. The timer is ticking.
Out, but I could see various limbs waving frantically to keep the gremlin things at bay. I raised the shovel.
Oh,
prepared to
last
strike.
second.
All at once, the little creatures snapped their
Oh,
heads
and I
in my
remember why I
direction
was missing
and
points.
dropped like flies from the metal beam, falling to the path and scattering out of sight. The grill face, too, turned towards me. Thank you. You have no idea what... I let out a berserker howl as I brought down the shovel squarely on that black, twitching body, splatting it with a wet crunch and a deafening bang against the white-hot grill it rested upon. The metal construct stood still and silent for several agonizing moments before it finally began to pitch backward, creaking like a rusty door before banging to the ground, dead or asleep or whatever the hell I just did. I prodded it a few times before cautiously stepping around it and continuing up. Something didn't want me to reach the top, and I felt pretty good about it. Entry 5.6. The rest of my climb was relatively uneventful, broken only by the odd hot dog squid or scuttling pork ribs. It was a full 23 flights up that I was at roughly level with the top of the tower, the walkway branching around it in a perfect wall-to-wall spider's web. Up close, the sight of the brainflies was more awesome and more hideous than I could have imagined. bathed in that alien light. The roaring funnel of unearthly light was almost too beautiful to have burst its way from formerly human skulls. The death toll they represented must have been staggering.
Oh, an actual thing.
That terrible beauty rather harshly clashed with the figure standing a few yards ahead on a raised rectangular platform, back turned towards me as it overlooked the tower and appeared to fidget with a large control console. I blinked hard, trying to register its strangely familiar shape. It had no apparent head or neck, its body only a broad, rounded mass, like a squashed barrel. A pair of dark, mushy limbs extended from its sides. A white object bobbled around on its upper surface. I didn't want to accept what I was looking at. It was too much. Even now, it was just stupid. It was a hamburger in a chef's hat, like the logo. If I could sneak up on it, I could plunge my mighty blade straight down into its big, stupid breadhead. There was no way it could hear me coming above the teeming bugs. I took my first light, cautious step. It whirled around. For a long time, we just stared at one another. The rancid-looking beast regarded me with bulging, bloodshot eyes the size of soccer balls, oozing and twitching as it looked me up and down. I didn't know what else to do, what was going to finally break the staring contest. I lowered my shovel and raised a hand in greeting. Hello? The moldering sandwich stood still for a few more moments before those slimy eyeballs rolled in their lidless sockets, as if I just said or done something even more ridiculous than the thing's very existence. I almost began stammering a follow-up statement when one of its slimy appendages suddenly reached for a huge, bright red switch on its console and nonchalantly pressed it. It raised one sludgy beef hand and gave a sort of toodaloo finger wave as its entire platform abruptly plunged through the floor and disappeared out of sight. The elevator shaft sealed off behind it, and moments later, the catwalks began to flood with activity. Entry 5.7. From somewhere on the opposite side of that glowing, flying brain tornado came dozens of new shapes. Meat beings were pouring from some unseen new opening, already looking larger and
like
meaner than any of the oozing rejects I'd been mowing down.
Story.
I didn't suppose my little gremlin friends were waiting nearby with any flamethrowers. The first thing to reach me was a squiggly, bear-sized yellow mass of soft, tangled limbs, rolling along at a seemingly abnormal speed. It looked almost like an octopus, until a long neck snaked out from its warty folds, snapping at me with an orange beak. A giant, boneless chicken. Why was this my life? With a surge of contemptuous bloodlust, I hacked mercilessly into the abominable thing long after it had ceased moving, only for something else to whistle just over my head. I spun around in the shredded remnants of the octobird, coming face to featureless doll crotch with a pair of skinned legs, 6 feet high and fused at the hips.
Right then. What the hell was that noise? I see, so my save point is when I just did that. Wait, no. Yeah, that's definitely weird. Also, I seem to be missing the 2 floppy disks. Okay, you're fine now. Guessing just looking at that incantation is what triggered it. So I'm just gonna do this over again and
I work at a gas station in rural Pennsylvania. It's a boring job, but it's pretty easy and it pays alright. A few weeks ago, this new guy started. I'll call him Jeremy. Jeremy is weird. He's about 25 or 26 and he hardly speaks, but he's got the creepiest laugh I've ever heard. My boss and I have both noticed this, but it's never been a problem, so there's not much we can do about it. Customers have never complained about him, and he's always done his job fairly well. Up until a few weeks ago, anyway. That's when things started going missing. Employee theft can be a problem at any business that sells consumer goods, and there's only one person working at a time at this gas station. It's a pretty small place. About 2 weeks ago, my boss started noticing that we were short on motor oil. At first, it was a few containers at a time, then entire shelves and boxes from the back room. Pretty soon, entire shipments would be gone the day after we got them, and it would always be right after Jeremy's shifts. My boss had checked the security camera tapes from every single night he worked, but he could never catch him in the act. Jeremy would lock up at closing, then the motor oil would be gone the next day. My boss usually takes the tapes home with him to try and catch Jeremy stealing, but his daughter had a softball game last night, so he asked me to watch the tape for him. He offered to pay me overtime, under the table, so obviously I took that offer. There are 3 cameras, so he gave me 3 different tapes to check. I figured it would be a long night, but I'm trying to save up for vacation, so I really needed the money. I took the tapes home, popped them in an old VCR, and sat back.
what happened to all my yellow
2 days ago, the last time he worked,
floppy disks?
Jeremy started at 4 p.m. Everything seemed pretty normal at first. He counted up his drawer, switched off with the girl who was working before him, and waited for a customer. The first person who came in was Mrs. Templeton. The timestamp on the video read 4:03, a regular. She picked up her cigarettes and a newspaper and paid with a 20. Nothing unusual there. The next customer was some local guy named Ron. He drives a motorcycle,
Well,
usually comes in every few days.
gonna have to end it here.
He filled up his tank, got a bag of
so
beef jerky,
I
paid with
hope
his
you
credit card, and
enjoyed,
left.
And I'll see
Next
you
was some guy with
guys
a cowboy hat.
in the next one.
I'd never seen him before, but we get plenty of strangers passing through, just like any gas station. He got $40 worth of diesel fuel, paid with a $100 bill, and went on his way. I sat back and sighed. The only thing more boring than doing this job is watching someone else do it. My boss's offer was enough to keep me watching, though, so I left the tape on. Everything seemed pretty normal. I had a feeling